Hello everyone, welcome to A Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. Anthony Fauci, the infectious disease prevention advisor in the White House, is in trouble. On the origin of COVID-19, we all know that Fauci's attitude has taken a sudden turn in recent days, and we would guess that something must be going on within his circle. Fauci's push for a thorough investigation on whether the virus originated from the Wuhan Institution of Virology provoked the Communist China's media to call him a villain and say that he had betrayed the Chinese scientists. These are some strange claims, and I discussed them briefly in a previous episode. What no one expected was that Fauci's real trouble would be his emails. On June 1st, two media outlets, the Washington Post and the BuzzFeed, obtained the content of a large number of emails from Fauci under a Freedom of Information Act request. This process spanned from January to June 2020, and these emails revealed Fauci's situation in response to the pandemic in the US and the relationships he had. As soon as this email gate on Fauci broke out, media outlets of all sizes, as well as countless YouTubers, immediately began to sift through 886 pages of documents. So far, I have seen at least one email showing that Fauci, along with an expert named Anderson, Xi Zhengli's collaborator Peter Daszak, as well as the WHO and the CDC, have collaborated together to cover up information and deliberately mislead the public on the origin of the virus. Out of the thousands of emails, the one that has received the most attention so far is an email from Christian G. Anderson, a viral immunologist at the Scripps Research Institute. The email contains two very sensitive sentences, one of which reads, "The unusual features of the virus make up a really small part of the genome, less than 0.1%. So one has to look really closely at all the sequences to see that some of the features potentially look engineered." Another sentence reads, "Eddie, Bob, Mike, and I all found the genome inconsistent with the expectations from evolutionary theory." So what makes this email so important? It is because Anderson's own stance on the origins of the virus contradicts what he says in the email. He published the paper in the Nature magazine on March 17th of last year. In the paper, he said, "Our analyses clearly show that SARS-CoV-2 is not a laboratory construct or a purposefully manipulated virus." What was the date of Anderson's email to Fauci? It was on January 31st of last year. Anderson did not mention the email in the paper at all, which was published a month or so later. Before these emails were publicized, neither Anderson nor Fauci ever mentioned such a fact. From the Nature paper, it is also clear that he was very selective with the facts that he presented. For example, he avoided contradictory facts and only used facts favorable to his opinion. With such an attitude, it is only fair to say that the credibility of such a paper is questionable at best. Australian Sky News host and investigative journalist Sherry Markson tweeted her outrage. "This is a massive cover-up." She also asked Fauci to resign. Why do we say that? Fauci publicly admitted that the National Institutes of Health funded $600,000 to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, WIV. He denied that the money went toward so-called gain-of-function research. But in a 2012 paper, Fauci argued that the benefits of gain-of-function research outweighed the increased risk in causing pandemic through a lab accident. In a nutshell, Fauci knew that the Wuhan lab was performing gain-of-function research and knew that the CCP virus might have an engineered sequence, but he still granted money to the Wuhan lab, and he denied that the CCP virus could have originated from the lab leak. This is why the public questioned his cover-up. The Washington Post disclosed an email correspondence between Fauci and the director of the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, George Gao. In it, Fauci wrote, "We will get through this together." According to Red State, Dr. Peter Daszak, the expert who had published more than 20 papers in close collaboration with the WIV, emailed to thank Fauci. He said, "Once this pandemic's over, I look forward to thanking you in person and letting you know how important your comments are to us all." Daszak has published at least 3 papers related to bat coronaviruses in collaboration with Shi Zhengli. He was also the executor of Fauci's funding for the WIV. Such an important suspect actually became one of the main experts to join the WHO Wuhan investigation trip. Why did Sally mention on Sky News that this is a massive cover-up? I think it is not difficult to understand now. No wonder Senator Tom Cotton immediately tweeted 2 days ago that Fauci has some questions to answer. In other words, I'm afraid Fauci will soon have to go to a Senate hearing and be questioned again. As to what the final result will be, we have to wait and see. But we can see that there is a storm on its way. Next, one of my audience named Samuel Simpson suggested that I talk about ivermectin. Yes, recently we've seen a dramatic drop in the number of cases in India and Mexico. Since ivermectin is used in Delhi, the number of cases dropped from 28,395 on April 20th to 956 on May 28th, which means an amazing 96.6% drop. The daily number of cases in India continues to fall, and on June 2nd, India reported 132,788 new cases. So how did India make the number of cases continue to drop dramatically after taking ivermectin? According to the guidelines issued by All India Institute of Medical Science on April 20th, 2021, the usual dose is 200 micrograms per kilogram for 3 days, which is equivalent to 15 milligrams per day for a 68-kilogram person. 3 other Indian states that have used ivermectin have seen dramatic drops in daily cases as well. On May 14, 2021, not only India, but also the government of Mexico City reported that after analyzing the use of ivermectin in people infected with the CCP virus, the effect is very obvious. But now the mainstream media isn't reporting this. If it is now proven that an inexpensive and reliable drug plays a very big role, then what will happen to the vaccines? The vaccination will be stopped, because after all, they are experimental vaccines, and many people refuse to be guinea pigs. And the people with interest would lose a fortune. This is why they do not give us the truth. Then what exactly is ivermectin? Is it reliable? Ivermectin was first developed by the Japanese in the late 1970s. Japanese scientists first implemented ivermectin in 1981 as a drug for commercial livestock and pets. It took 10 years of testing, which proves it to be safe and reliable. It has been well over 40 years since this drug has been developed, so it is reliable without a doubt. If there was an adverse reaction, we definitely would have seen it already. Furthermore, this drug is effective against many viruses. In 1981, ivermectin was found to be effective against many kinds of parasites. In Australia, ivermectin was found to have strong antibacterial and antiviral effects against 2 life-threatening viruses, HIV and the dengue virus. What is the effect of ivermectin on the CCP virus? After research, it was found that ivermectin would reduce the activity of the CCP virus. How does it work? According to studies, ivermectin can inhibit the ability of the virus to attach to a cell, thus reducing the infection of the virus to the human body. Of course, you can go on the internet to check what Ivermectin is all about. I am not an expert. I'm just here to share the information I found so far with you. Lastly, we would like to remind our viewers that our platform may be restricted on social media. We would like to recommend the YouMaker platform to everyone. Our videos are available on YouMaker. Please subscribe, and we hope to see you there. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you next time.